hours because I want to keep myself busy now. I'm alone. And Sunday I go back to yoga. We're a small, intimate group of us who have dinner sometimes together. We all meet for Sunday, instead of going for brunch, we go for yoga. So it's a busy
you have theater tickets?
I have theater tickets, matinee, a series of 4 concert tickets at Lynn University, but that's mostly, I don't know, you call it contemporary music, if it's Jerome Kern and, I guess music of the, I don't know what kind of music you call that. A lot of it's show music, but it's not modern jazz.
So
I go up to Palm Beach occasionally, to the Kravitz Center. I do very little shopping. I don't like going to the mall. And I love being home.
Was Dad ever very social?
Never. It was never social.
So how did you Luna?
Every friend we have.
Luna.
I'm glad she wants to move and ball.
Oh yeah.
I mean, which means she's alive.
Right.
She's not feeling.
Luna.
Okay.
Come here, Luna.
Right. When Dad and I got married,
Come
I
here.
had a big group of friends. Oh, now she's limping.
Come here.
And they all accepted Dad, and we became friendly with all of them.
Go on.
When we moved to Florida, we met people at the hotel. The only people we knew from up north who lived there were the Ballons. And we were always friendly with them. Oh, she doesn't feel well now. She's not happy. None of that.
No.
Luna has
Can you
given
see her
us
hind leg?
that back right one.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, sit down and rest your leg. Oh, I feel terrible. She's not happy. You're a good girl, though. A good girl. Yes, that you're in pain. Do you think you
Tell
give
us
her
about-
an aspirin? Do you think
No.
you could give her half an aspirin?
Tell us about Amagansett
Oh,
and Nantucket.
oh, wait a second. My phone is ringing. My phone is ringing. I think I heard one new message. Carrie Henry. I have no idea. Any of these people, so. Did you ever hear of a Carrie Henry? I don't think this has been the most wonderful and the most awful part of my life. It has completely taken over. I liked it when I had a regular telephone. If you didn't want to answer, you didn't answer. You couldn't send messages. Now, what's your question that you asked me?
Amagansett
Oh.
and Nantucket.
When the 3 kids were trying to think, actually, they were 7 and 10, they went away to camp. Oh, before camp years, that's right. Before camp years, when you were young, very young, we went to Hyannisport and rented a cottage right on the beach. And I remember Uncle Saul lived near there, Grandpa's brother, younger brother, who were also very good friends with my parents. It was a very, very mixed kind of thing. The Taffies and the Runkles kind of go mixed a lot. And you were maybe 3 years old, and you took you had a bucket of sand water, and you were going to wash Uncle Saul's car with the sandy water, and he had a Cadillac that he absolutely
Red.
He adored that car. He got so upset. I remember, but they moved to Florida. Uncle Saul and his wife Helen, and they were wonderful to me when we first moved to Florida. They really were. Uncle Saul was a
But
good guy.
Nantucket was your idea, not
No.
Dad's.
My mother and father went to Nantucket every summer for a period of maybe 10 or 12 years. And when I went, I'm trying to think, I used to go and visit them with Jessica and Joan before I was married to Dad or had you. And every year I'd go and visit them. And I remember the last summer I went, before I got my divorce, I went alone with the two girls, and finally, after a few weeks I was there, my mother said, I could hear my mother say to my father, do you think she's ever gonna go home? I just kept staying and staying. I really didn't want to go home because I was so unhappy. And I had told Jimmy, my ex-husband, that I wasn't coming back from Nantucket until he had a job. He was unemployed at the time. I said, when you get a job, I'll come home. Well, he never got a job, but finally I heard my mother and father say that. I said, I better go home. But as soon as I married your dad, we went back the next summer to Nantucket, and we stayed at Stone Barn Inn. You weren't born. No, that was the first summer. We got married in June. We went there with the two girls, and the following year you were born. And then we went and stayed at a boarding house like one year, and I remember we put your kids to bed. We had driven all day and taken the ferry, and we were trying to get the three of you to bed, and Dad tried to open the window, and it was not a window that was on hinges. You had to put a piece of wood to hold it up, like in the old days, and the window fell down and cut Dad his arm so badly, and the owner of the bed and breakfast, or whatever it was, rushed him to the hospital, and I went with him. We left the children. I think the wife said they'd watch the three of you. And Dad was so upset because the doctor kept asking him questions before he took care of the arm. And Dad said, I could bleed to death, and you're bothering asking me to take care of him. I remember that. Dad loved medicine. He really did. I think I was always taking everyone's pulse. He acted like he was a doctor. And he'd feel your head and feel your pulse. And he decided he would make the recommendation of what you should do. He was very patient with you when you were sick, but he was a terrible patient. He used to get terrible migraine headaches, and he was miserable. And finally he would say, I'm going to the room, don't come near me, I'm going to sleep it off. And a few hours later, they sometimes went away. Later on, he had a wonderful medication he took that prevented him from getting those headaches. But
What about your health over the years?
my health, I wish there was some wood around. That would hit my head. I've never really been terribly sick. I've had everything like that. I had tonsillitis when I was a little girl. Then I had an appendectomy my first year at college, at the end of this year. Trying to think what I had after that. Then I had nothing. That was when I was like 18, 19. And then I had 3 children. And then when I was 50, I had a hysterectomy. And in the year 2000, they found a lump and I had a lumpectomy. And thank goodness nothing ever since then. I had radiation for that. And then in 2001, I treated myself to a facelift. And that's the story of any surgery or medications, nothing. I have a lousy back, but I just live with it. Occasionally go get a shot. So I think I'm blessed. I don't wear glasses. I'm too fat. I could lose 10, 15 pounds and I'd be healthier. I don't exercise enough, but I say I'm healthy. Everyone else is running to the doctor.
Although I will tell you, when I gain weight, my back hurts.
No. My back has bad spine. Yes, you poor thing. You've got bad hips now. That's part of getting old. Okay. There's nothing else I can think of.
Why do you like fireworks so much?
I don't know, I think they're beautiful. I really just think it's like a rainbow. I just love rainbows, and if it's raining and I look out the window and I see sun, I run outside to see if I can find a rainbow. I don't know whether it's because my mother loved rainbows, but when I see a rainbow, I just think it's so beautiful, and fireworks do the same thing to me.
Now, why are you financially conservative? You're a very big saver, and you're
Well,
frugal
I was
in many
gonna-
ways, aren't you?
Yes, I'm tight. I'm not frugal, I'm tight. There's no question. When I was a little girl, first I was born in 1927, and you all know that 1929 to 1933 were real bad years financially. My mother and father never had to go bankrupt or lost anything because they probably didn't have that much. But my father had a business that made a living, so we never really had to worry about anything. And I went to camp and all, they gave us every advantage.
During the
But
Depression?
During the Depression. The only thing they did was my sister went to the Woodmere Academy, and she was 4 years older than I was, and she must have gone kindergarten, first, second, third. And when she was ready for fourth grade, I was ready for kindergarten, and they sent me to kindergarten. So they had 2 children in private school. And I guess they felt that was too much for them to spend, and they wouldn't take just me out. They took both of us out and had us go to public school. But truthfully, it made no difference. We had a good public school. My sister was very, very smart. I ended up going away to school, getting
Tell
into
us
a
the
good
story that they rented their house and
Well, things were not, money didn't just keep pouring in, or as my father said, you can't pick it off a tree. And he was the one who was more economical even about things like waste. Waste was absolutely awful. You didn't throw away